Berserk's Golden Age arc is one of the most unforgettable stories ever told. However, the reason is not because of the epic battles or tragic plot twists. It's about the dreams, friendship, and how it explores what happens when those dreams turn friends into enemies. At its heart are two men. Guts, a lone, wandering swordsman looking for meaning in his life, and Griffith, a charismatic leader with a dream so big and divine it attracts others to him. Their bond, their struggles, and their choices shape everything in this story. Imagine being a warrior with no home, no family, and no real purpose. Well, that is Guts. From the moment we meet him, he's a man shaped by a brutal past, fighting just to survive as he was abandoned at birth, left to die. Then there's Griffith. He is the complete opposite. Charming, confident, and with a single powerful goal: to rise above everyone and rule a kingdom of his own. When these two cross paths, their lives change forever. Together, they create something greater than either of them could have done on their own. But as the story unfolds, we see the cracks forming in their bond. Like I said, it's an example of how dreams can unite people, but can also tear them apart. However, the Golden Age arc is more than just Guts and Griffith's struggles and dreams. It's about the price of ambition, the cost of loyalty, and the pain of chasing something greater than yourself. By the end, it asks a single haunting question: what are you willing to sacrifice to achieve your dream? And this is where their journey begins. So let's dive into the story piece by piece and uncover the deeper meanings hidden within as we explore possibly the greatest story arc in manga history and one of the greatest pieces of dark fantasy ever made. This is the Golden Age arc. Now, to Guts, Griffith is a mystery. Why would someone like him show interest in a nobody like Guts? From the very beginning, the two fight out in a duel. This fight sets the tone for their entire relationship. Griffith wins, and in doing so, he makes it clear that he sees Guts as someone useful, a piece of the puzzle in achieving his grand vision. As for Guts, this moment changes everything. Before this, he's been living a life of survival, but now he's caught up in Griffith's dream, something bigger than anything he's ever imagined before. The dynamic between them is built on these differences. Guts is a realist, someone who only believes in what he can see and touch, whereas Griffith is an idealist, chasing a dream so big that it almost seems impossible. Together, their paths collide in a way that shapes both their fates and the story of Berserk and the world forever. Because after that duel, Guts joins the Band of the Hawk, a group of mercenaries unlike anything he's known before. For the first time in his life, Guts begins to feel something he never thought to be possible: a sense of belonging. This is because the Band of the Hawk isn't just a group of fighters, they're a family. Their bond is built on shared battles, victories, and sacrifices, something Guts has never experienced. And at the centre of it all is Griffith. To the Band of the Hawk, he's more than just a leader. He's almost godlike in the way that his followers look up to him. Every command he gives, every plan he devises, feels like destiny itself is unfolding before them. Thus, they don't just trust Griffith, they believe in him with a faith so strong that it's almost unshakable. They will put their entire life on the line for him, as without him, their life has no meaning anyway. And Guts is no exception to this rule. But whilst Griffith's ambition is mesmerising, it's also overwhelming, like something too large to fully comprehend. And so whilst Guts fights alongside Griffith and the others, there's a quiet voice inside him wondering if this brotherhood, this new sense of purpose, is truly his saving grace in life, or if it's a trap, binding him to something beyond his control. Is he living for himself, or purely just for Griffith's dream? A dream that reaches its clearest and most profound moment during Griffith's dream speech to Princess Charlotte. He explains his belief that a true friend isn't someone who just follows or supports him, but someone who has a dream of their own, standing as his equal. To Griffith, people without dreams are simply stepping stones on his path to greatness. It's a harsh perspective, but one that defines how he views the world and those closest to him, which is made apparent in the oh so near future. As for Guts, this idea strikes a chord. He spent his life surviving, fighting battles for others, and finding some sense of belonging within the Band of the Hawk. But Griffith's world only makes Guts' internal struggles grow louder with every battle they face together. Take the Battle of Doldry for example. It's a key moment in their journey where Guts and Griffith work together with perfect synergy to achieve a near impossible victory. But even in their greatest moments, there's an unspoken tension in the air. For Griffith, every victory is a step closer to his dream. But for Guts, each success feels like another moment where he's living someone else's story instead of his own. Is he willing to sacrifice his sense of self to remain as part of Griffith's dream, or is there something more waiting for him beyond this brotherhood? This internal struggle leads Guts to a decision that changes everything. He chooses to leave the Band of the Hawk, not out of resentment, but out of a desperate need to forge his own path. For Guts, this is more than just walking away. It's a declaration of independence, a statement that his life is his own to define. But for Griffith, it feels like a betrayal. Guts was never just another soldier to him. He was the one person that Griffith believed could stand beside him. And so their confrontation erupts into a duel, one far more personal than their first. It was no longer just a clash of swords, but a battle of ideals. For Griffith, Guts' departure is unthinkable, a direct challenge to his belief that everyone in his orbit is a part of his end goal. As for Guts, it's the ultimate test of his resolve to live for himself, even if it means breaking free from the one person he's come to respect the most. Thus, when Guts wins, it's not just a physical victory, but a symbolic moment that marks the end of their bond as it once was. As a result, Griffith's reaction is devastating. Guts' departure shakes him to his core, triggering a descent into despair. For someone who has always been in control, whose every move seemed guided by destiny, losing Guts feels like losing a part of himself. And without his closest companion, Griffith's dream begins to crumble, and so does he, revealing the fragile foundation beneath these grand dreams. It marks the beginning of Griffith's catastrophic downfall. As if being stripped of the one person he believed truly understood him wasn't bad enough, Griffith is also found making love with Princess Charlotte, leading to his capture and imprisonment. It was a risk he took in order to further his dream of becoming a ruler of the kingdom, but because of this, the once charismatic leader of the Band of the Hawk is reduced to a broken shell of his former self, as his body and spirit are crushed under the weight of his failure. For a year, the Band of the Hawk struggled to survive without Griffith. However, when Guts finally reunites with them, it's clear the dream they all once shared together is on the verge of collapse. Nonetheless, they band together to try and rescue Griffith, but instead find someone who is unrecognizable, a man robbed of his voice, his strength, and his dream. This pain and humiliation is unbearable for Griffith, as his despair leads him to a choice that changes everything. The Eclipse is the ultimate turning point in Berserk, a moment where innocence dies. It's a reminder that there is no hope in this world, only horror. Thus, Griffith, consumed by desperation and a longing to reclaim his dream, accepts the deal offered to him by the demonic God Hand. In doing so, he sacrifices the Band of the Hawk, the very people who sacrificed their own dreams for his. And remember, as we mentioned earlier, Griffith always viewed his followers, his allies, his friends as mere stepping stones should they not have a dream of their own. Something we now witness literally, as Griffith has a vision of him climbing upon the stacking dead bodies of those followers to reach his goals. Thus, in the real world, the harrowing betrayal unfolds as the band is devoured, as their screams echo through the blood-soaked landscape, all so that Griffith can transcend his humanity and become Femto, a member of the God Hand, standing at the top of the apostle food chain. For Guts, this is more than just a loss. It's the destruction of everything he ever cared about. He's forced to watch, powerless, as his comrades are slaughtered, and Griffith, the man who was once looked upon as an angelic being, becomes a demonic monster. However, Griffith isn't the only one to leave the Eclipse as an entirely new person, as his despair-induced dream also gave birth to the Black Swordsman, a man driven by a singular purpose, to destroy Griffith and everything he stood for. This man was Guts. In the end, the eclipse isn't just the death of the Band of the Hawk, it symbolises the death of dreams, innocence, loyalty, and faith. It leaves Griffith and Guts on two radically different yet parallel paths. For Griffith, the sacrifice allows him to achieve his ultimate ambition once and for all, because as Femto, he gained unimaginable power and stepped closer to building the kingdom he always dreamed of. But at what cost? The victory is hollow, stained by betrayal and the blood of those who believed in him. Griffith won, but the price was his humanity, his morality, and the relationships that once gave this dream of his meaning. Guts, on the other hand, is left with nothing but his rage and a burning desire for vengeance. The man who once sought belonging and purpose now fights only to destroy the one who gave and took everything from him. Unlike Griffith, Guts doesn't seek power or glory. His journey is fueled by raw emotion, but this path too comes with a cost. In his relentless dream of vengeance, Guts sacrifices his chance for peace, forging himself into a weapon of rage and pain. But regardless of which path these men chose, both are reflections of broken dreams. And so I ask you again, what are you willing to sacrifice to achieve your dream? If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing and dinging that notification bell, as well as leaving a like. Also, you might enjoy this video on your screen right now, so give it a click.